What if Bitcoin reaching $10 million is not crazy at all? What if it only sounds insane because we are judging the future with today's mindset? Every major shift in money looked impossible right before it became inevitable. Subtle animated Bitcoin background with slow cinematic movement, soft lighting, and minimal motion to keep focus on the avatar, clean, premium, documentary style visuals. Bitcoin at $10 million sounds impossible today, but history shows that disbelief usually comes before adoption. The biggest moves always look insane at the beginning. People laughed at Bitcoin when it was worth $1 and called it useless. They laughed again at $1,000 and said it was a bubble. And they laughed even louder at 60,000, convinced it was the top. Fast cuts of old media headlines declaring Bitcoin dead, high contrast visuals with subtle glitch effects, quick pacing to emphasize disbelief and mockery. Bitcoin has been declared dead hundreds of times. Each time it survived, it came back stronger. Disbelief is part of the cycle. $10 million sounds insane only if you focus on price alone. Serious investors think in terms of market size and global capital flows. That shift in perspective changes everything. Clean animated bars representing market capitalization growth, slow upward movement with minimalistic design, neutral colors, financial documentary style. Price is emotional, market size is rational, that's the difference. Global wealth is measured in hundreds of trillions of dollars. Gold, bonds, real estate, and cash dominate the financial system today. Bitcoin only needs a small share of that capital to change dramatically. Global wealth map with flowing capital animations, smooth transitions between asset classes, slow premium movement. The pie is enormous. Bitcoin needs only a slice. That's often overlooked. If Bitcoin captures even part of gold's role as a store of value, the math changes. Add a fraction of bonds and capital escaping unstable fiat systems. At that point, 10 million becomes a scenario, not a dream. Side-by-side comparison of gold and Bitcoin market caps, numbers slowly counting upward, clean financial visuals. This is about substitution, not total replacement. That distinction matters. There will only ever be 21 million Bitcoin. That limit is fixed by code and cannot be changed. Demand, however, keeps growing as awareness spreads. Bitcoin supply animation, stopping sharply at 21 million. Clear visual pause at the cap, minimalistic style. Supply is fixed forever, demand is not. That imbalance drives value. Every Bitcoin cycle quietly removes more coins from the market. Long-term holders rarely sell once conviction is formed. Liquidity shrinks while demand keeps knocking. Coins slowly disappearing from exchange visuals. Dark background with subtle motion, gradual tightening effect. Less supply available, same demand pressure, different outcome. Bitcoin ETFs change the game in a way most people underestimate. Institutional capital moves slowly, but when it commits in size. That kind of money thinks in decades, not weeks. Institutional buildings blending into Bitcoin visuals, smooth corporate-style transitions, clean and authoritative tone. Institutions don't rush, they position quietly, then they hold. Most people will not hold Bitcoin long enough to see extreme outcomes. They sell because of fear, boredom, or short-term needs. That impatience fuels every major wealth transfer. Crowd panic visuals fading into calm long-term holder imagery. Strong contrast between chaos and patience. Slow transition. Impatience is common, patience is rare. That's the edge. Time is the real multiplier in Bitcoin, not leverage or clever trading. Years in the market beat perfect timing again and again. This asset rewards endurance more than intelligence. Clock animation merging into a long-term Bitcoin chart. Slow upward trend over decades. Smooth and steady motion. Time beats timing over and over again. The data is clear. Could Bitcoin fail to ever reach $10 million? Yes, regulation, technology, or human behavior could slow adoption. Nothing in markets is guaranteed. Warning symbols blending with Bitcoin network visuals, balanced and neutral presentation, no dramatic effects. Risk always exists. Anyone denying it is lying. That includes Bitcoin. But the real question isn't whether Bitcoin reaches the maximum scenario. The real question is what happens if it succeeds only partially. That asymmetric upside is often ignored. Asymmetric risk-reward scale animation. Bitcoin highlighted on the upside. Clean and simple. Downside is limited. Upside is open-ended. That's asymmetry. A $10 million Bitcoin would not happen overnight. It would take decades of monetary pressure and trust shifts. Most participants will exit long before that. Long timeline stretching far into the future. Slow fade toward the horizon. Calm, long-term feel. Decades matter. Cycles are short-term noise. The trend is long-term. So the real question isn't when Bitcoin reaches $10 million. The real question is whether you will still be holding if it ever does. History suggests most people won't. Subtle background fade with Bitcoin logo remaining centered. Minimal motion and clean finish. Strong closing visual. Would you still be holding? Or would you sell too early? Be honest with yourself.